So today, I am going to talk a little bit about some information that we've curated from where I work. I basically work at a performance marketing network, and I have for the past 9 years, always on the client side. So I see a lot of programs who have, open and grow and thrive, but I've also seen, many opportunities where maybe people have a little harder time getting their program growing. So I just thought it'd be interesting and useful to bring together some of the information that we see in the network level to be able to provide to you some best practices on some of the most common questions and issues that people face when trying to grow their affiliate program. What is the room situation? Is everybody, maybe new to affiliate marketing, have had programs for over 5 years? Anybody? You have? And maybe 5 years and under, maybe just started managing the program, more likely for that. Okay, great. So I think there'll be some good information, all across the board covering that. And basically what we'll do is talk about 3 C's. That's how we're going to chunk this up today. So the 3 C's being creative, so the types of marketing collateral that you might provide to the affiliates, your communication, so how you're reaching out to them, letting them know about the marketing collateral that you have, and then also compensation, which, payments. So how you are maybe motivating or incentivizing your affiliates, what tends to work best, what are people doing, what are some best practices. So that's what we're going to do today, starting right now. So first and foremost, we wanted to start with some creatives. So basically looking at my pool of data, we looked at all sorts of transactions, a big sampling of transactions over the course of a couple of months, and wanted to see how are the affiliate links being used. So how are the affiliates driving sales for these merchants? And 60% of the time, it was through banners and text links. And 10% of the time, the links were coupon links. So maybe a coupon code that the merchant had uploaded to their account, so the affiliate grabbed that link. And then the 30% is other. So depending on what kind of affiliate program, where you're hosting that, or what network you're using, this would include things like maybe widgets, product links, videos, that kind of stuff. So 60%, whoa, that's a big number. So you want to make sure that you've got essentially some text links available, a good selection. Maybe you've got some content bloggers or anybody that might be wanting to use those words in content or ads or whatever they're writing about. And then also, obviously, a good selection of banners as well. For those that are managing programs, what would you guess if you were to look? We've got about 4,000 merchants in our network. On average, how many banners they have uploaded? Maybe for you, do you have 1 to 10 maybe? Or 20 to 50? I would have guessed for our network probably 20 if I had to guess what our merchants have. And it was actually 76. So I was shocked and amazed. It's a big number. Do I think that you all need to run out and make 76 banners? No, I don't, But just something to keep in mind that is our average, so it's a lot of creative available. So the point being that you just want to have a nice selection in your toolbox, if you will. Lots of things available to the affiliates, creatives that they can choose from, maybe get to know them, what kinds of creatives they might want. So that's what we're going to talk about next. These are some popular sizes that we notice being used on the network. And same thing with the 76 number. I don't think everybody needs to quickly run out and get a designer and make every single one of these sizes. But just good to keep in mind. And what I typically recommend when merchants call in and ask these questions, I just say, use some of your analytics. What are your affiliates using? If you have a banner that's performing best and that's a 125 by 125, obviously that's where you want to start and build that out. If you've just started your creative inventory, maybe you're starting from scratch, I usually suggest maybe having one of each type of size. So maybe a rectangle, maybe like a 468 by 60 horizontal, maybe the 125 by 125 for content and bloggers, that kind of thing. Maybe focusing on what type of site that they're going to have. And even if you do the research on the affiliate side too, if I really want to get affiliate, meet.com or whatever, then you're going to take a look at how they're using advertising and also start from there too. So if you notice that they have a lot of sidebar creatives, obviously that would be a good place to start. So these are some of the most popular banner sizes. As you're creating them, the number one goal that you want, obviously, is conversion with the ads that you're creating for the affiliates. So think about your customers. You know how people are shopping on your site. You obviously have a brand, and that looks like something, right? So you want to make sure that your creative is compelling in such a way that will inspire your shoppers to purchase. Or I should say the affiliate shoppers to purchase, but they're still your customers, right? They know you, they want to purchase. So number one goal, conversion, obviously. And I think there are some primary 5 ways that you can do that when you're uploading your creatives, 5 things to kind of think about or have in your creative set. And these are some pretty good examples, I think, some good examples of each of those. First on top, this is an example of somebody doing seasonal banners, which I think are great. You can have a category, let's say, maybe dedicated specifically to different types of seasons. You might even be able to switch that out, maybe have something that's dynamic. So in other words, just uploading a new creative as the year goes on. So if your affiliates know, okay, this is going to be my seasonal banner, this is an example where they've got a nice Father's Day call to action, and then obviously that will change as your year goes on. The second one is product focused. So having a banner that's specific to maybe a bestseller that you have or a new product or something really exciting. Again, you know what this stuff is. You know what it's going to look like. You know what will resonate with your shoppers. So having a good call to action for the specific product. Or you can go a little deeper, and or I should say wider, and that's what the one on the left, bottom left, that's a category example. So if you have a wide inventory, wide range of products, you can create some banners for that specific category. So maybe, if you have apparel, maybe that's going to be like woolly sweaters or, hey, buy our great black cocktail dresses or whatever. So category banners are great. And lastly, we have a deal banner. So there too, if you've got some really great upcoming deals that you want to let the affiliates know about, creating some banners and creatives for that is fantastic as well. And you'll notice each of these also have call to action. So that's the other really important component. Make sure that your banners actually have some sort of, what do you want me to do with this ad? So shop now, go here, order here, that kind of thing. You want to make sure that that's nice and clear and compelling. Again, keeping conversion top of mind. So speaking, we ended kind of on the deals. Here's something else that we found in our nuggets of goodness in the data. Looking at our merchants, and I wanted to pull out, active merchants, so people that actually have been making sales and have logged into their account in the last month. I found that only 13% of our active merchants were uploading deals in the past month. And of those same active merchants, 61% had uploaded deals in the lifetime of their program. So what this means is if you are going to be sending to your affiliates different deals, if you want them to promote deals and coupons, make sure you utilize your network and let that know. Get the word out there, provide it to the affiliates as a creative option, and it will help you stand out because not everybody is doing that. So, if you want to, like I said, get the word out there and promote your coupons and deals, have the affiliates doing that, definitely upload that as your type of creative that you use. And these are just some stats. Everybody knows, obviously, consumers are using deals. That's not new data necessarily. But what I like about these particular stats is just a reminder to use statistics as a way to shape your strategy, your program strategy. So for example, look at the upper left, 94% of people follow brands on Twitter to receive to receive deals and offers. So what I would use with that is okay, great. That's good knowledge to know. I'm going to look at my affiliate list. Maybe you have, a really strong coupon affiliate partner. Check out their Twitter feed. Do they have a really big presence on social media? If they do, okay, that could cue you to say, great, why don't we do an exclusive partnership then? Let me give you an exclusive code that you can use on Twitter and, try to generate some activity that way. Or likewise with mobile, I thought that was interesting that 10% of mobile coupons there's a 10% redemption rate compared to 1% or less for traditional. Interesting to know. So again, if you have an affiliate that's just really doing great with mobile advertising, again, that might be something to reach out to and just make sure that your deals are listed on that mobile, whatever it is you're using, mobile site, mobile app, whatever it might be. So what kinds of deals are working? So again, this is kind of what we find through the data in our little vault of fun. Free shipping. This has been the same for as long as I can remember. Year over year, I think it's always the same. But just good reminder to keep it in mind. Free shipping is king, and this could be any variation of free shipping. So maybe you have, just a blanket free shipping for the month, but it also could be maybe, free shipping upgrades. So maybe you're going to upgrade to next day, or maybe it's free shipping for, purchases over $20, something like that. But free shipping, I thought that was interesting too, that 69% of shoppers are more likely to shop where free shipping is available. So probably why it converts so well that people actually are looking for that when they're shopping online. But some other options, some other greatest hits in the coupon world tend to be order off and percentage off. This is just a general rule of thumb. It tends to work if you have a $1 off coupon. Works best when the order is less than $100, and percentage off if the order is greater than $100. So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe if you have a new product and you want to roll it out with a special deal, hey, great, get this $60 sweater, $5 off. But again, if it's a really high ticket item, then your percentage off is most likely to convert a little bit better. So you've got all of these, kind of creatives, some different strategies for that. The next section we're talking about is communications. So how are you reaching out to your affiliates? How are you going to get the word out there? How are you going to let them know that this is available? Affiliate Summit did the AppStat report last year, and they asked affiliates, okay, how would you like, to hear from your program managers? And 90% said email over everything else, over all the other communication channels, phone or IM or social media or whatever. They want to be emailed. Okay, great. So let's email our affiliates. So I was really shocked and amazed, shocked and awed again, to find out that only 50% of our merchants are actually sending out newsletters. And this is surprising, like I said, because I know I see shock in the face of the people. But that's interesting. So the takeaway here is, again, wherever your program is hosted, whoever you're using, just make sure that you're utilizing their newsletter tool to send messages, keep people top of mind, let them know what's happening with your program, because they want to hear from you, and only half of the people are actually telling people what's going on. So frequency, this is a question that comes up all the time. How often should I be sending out my newsletters? On our network, we're noticing people are sending them out about once a month. As a general rule of thumb, I find that if you have, let's say, a really extensive website, maybe you have a huge product inventory that spans many categories, you may have a lot of things that you want to talk about, a lot of things going on, lots of deals or new products or whatever it might be. And in that case, it's going to make sense that you have more frequency with that, maybe like once a week. But regardless, if you don't have that, maybe you just have one product or two products, then you need to be sending something out once a month at least. If people have signed up for your program, they want to know what's going on, and you need to let them know not only what's happening with your program, but also what is happening on your site, what kinds of new products you might have and that stuff. So that takes me to building this email that you're going to have. So first and foremost, subject lines. How are you going to grab their attention and get them to open this email that you're sending them in the first place? MailChimp has done some great studies and surveys to gather data on this, and that's where I grabbed these bullet points from. First and foremost, really the general takeaway was that whatever your subject line is going to be, you want to make sure that you're telling your reader about it and not selling your reader about it. So in other words, try to dial down, like promotional emails, the screaming all caps with lots of exclamation points, open this email! Avoid that, and maybe just let them know what's happening. Hey, our program, we're having a great, here's your September affiliate bonus, earn double commission. straightforward, to the point, specify what it is, and keeping it nice, short, and sweet, so under 50 characters. So for the newsletter itself, now you've got them to open the email, they're very intrigued. Now you want to build your actual email. And I think that these are the components that should always be included. You want to have a direct call to action, so you always want to be educating your affiliates about something that's going on, something that's new, something that you have happening. So you want to have a call to action. So in this case, maybe it's going to be, hey, we have a great new September coupon. Here's what it is, straightforward. You have the details of that. Then you want to have usable content. So again, maybe you've got new product or new banner or new videos that you're uploading. So some sort of usable content, they can take that and use it on their site. And then having, if you're able, again, depending on the network, you may be able to, or even if you code it yourself, if you're able, and always put in the individual code as well. So this just makes it extremely easy for the affiliate to copy and paste. So hey, I've got all these great things going on in our program. Here's the newsletter that you need. You don't have to do anything else. Just copy and paste this. And you'll notice the difference between this and maybe like the other thing I see all the time is consumer emails. So maybe the merchant has a consumer email that they send out anyway, and they say, okay, well, I'm already sending something out to our valuable customers, so why don't I just send that out? And the difference there is, like the affiliates are your affiliates. They're selling to customers, they're not your customers. So you want to make sure, if you're just sending out the customer email, that is not speaking to the affiliate, so it might not be something that they're going to take action on. Because you're talking about, oh, go to the site and shop our sale, versus, hey, we have a sale going on, here's the affiliate link so you can promote it. You know what I mean? So the information that you're putting in a customer email most likely is something the affiliate is going to be interested in, but you just want to make sure that you arrange it or edit it in such a way that it's usable for the affiliate. Another example of a streamlined email would just be, like if you're doing a promotion. Maybe, hey, this is our September earning. Earn like a $10 bonus for 1 to 10 sales or whatever it is. This is the banner that we find converting the best. Here's the code, the end. So again, just making it a one-stop shop tool. So the affiliate doesn't have to do anything else. They know exactly what's going on. You're giving them the best information and the education that they need to just go ahead and make some conversions for you. Design matters. So you can use plain text emails, you can do HTML emails, but whatever it is that you're doing, be conscious of how you're designing it. And this is not a newsletter, this is actually our company blog. But I say design matters because on the left is an older version of our blog, and then we recently updated it to the right version. And when we redid the blog, the whole point was we wanted to capture some more email subscribers. So in the blog redesign, we put that front and foremost, where it's, in the old version, is totally buried. So in doing that and making a totally different design and making that the focus, we were able to increase our email subscribers by 400%. Huge increase. So design definitely matters. So I talk about that because, no matter what it is that you're using, like I said, maybe it's going to be text or HTML, but either way, if you have something that you want them to pay attention to, put that front and center. Don't bury it at the very bottom of a really long, lengthy email. If you want them to use a new coupon code, make that the subject line. I've got a great new coupon code for August. Boom, they open it up, it's right on the front. Bingo, bango. The other thing to think about when we're talking about newsletter design is mobile. So again, I know mobile is not new, it is here, but these are just things to kind of consider. That 80% of smartphone users says that it was extremely important that they're able to open the newsletter or open their emails on their phone. They're 75% more likely to delete it if they can't read it on their phone. So, again, just kind of a consideration as you're thinking about your program strategies for the next year. Look at your newsletter. If you're doing something in HTML, this is something that you might want to consider, that the affiliates are able to read it on the go. So here are some tips for you. From Website Magazine, I pulled out, they had 5 great friendly mobile tips. Basically, if you have any sort of call to action buttons, That should be about 44 by 44. You want to make sure that your font and what they're reading is, a copy of which that they can. So 22 points for the header, about 14 for the non-header body. And again, just kind of keeping things, the same theme, short and concise and to the point. And same with subject lines. Mobile display is about 5 to 6 words. So just like we were talking about before, even without mobile, kind of keeping the subject lines short and to the point, and make sure that things are pretty friendly. And then again, test. But I think that testing is important even not on mobile, especially if you're sending out HTML newsletters and if you have code embedded in them. So you just want to make sure that no matter what you're using, that you're testing this out. And not just to make sure that it displays correctly, but of course to do some A/B testing as well. So maybe you want to send the same coupon, but to split up the group. So maybe send half of your affiliates one version with a certain subject line, and the other half another version, just to kind of get an idea of what it is that is capturing people's attention, and then you can continue to fine-tune your program from there. Or likewise, maybe kind of to get a sense of what kind of content the affiliate is interested in. So maybe you're sending a test out one time you're doing new products, or maybe after that you'll do your promotion on top. Maybe just kind of getting a sense of what it is that's capturing them right off the bat. Another type of communication that you might send out is recruitment. This is always a big question as well. So if I'm sending out, some information, I want to bring in new affiliates to my program, how do I go about doing that? And the biggest takeaways on this, I always say, is please don't just send out, hey, random affiliate, I'm random program, you really should join us just because I kind of said so, the end. You're not going to get a very good response, right? You want to make sure that your emails are really personal and that they are, they indicate that you've taken some time to look at their site. So what do I mean by that? Make it personal right off the bat. So you would say, maybe let's say I sell food products and I went to a food blog. I would start out with something like, hey, great blog, I noticed that you're selling organic gluten-free products and that's such a great fit because I sell gluten-free granola. So I think, that our product is a great fit on this specific blog post that you did on this day. Let them know that you took the time to actually do some research and you're not just kind of throwing a dart at the wall and hoping that it lands. They will appreciate that. Plus it kind of does some of the homework for them. They don't have to go through your site, read it, and then try to figure out why it's a good fit, Go ahead and put that out there. Then you'll want to have a nice, short, and concise about you. So, hey, we're going to be a good fit for this reason, and, try us out. I know that you'll love us. I'll give you, this is our tracking duration. We have, newsletters every month. I'm a dedicated program manager, all that kind of good stuff. And then consider doing a join incentive. So we find with the, again, promotional emails that go out or with, the join emails that people send out, the ones that convert the best are the ones that have some sort of incentive. So maybe it is a, try us out, we'll give you double commission for the first 30 days, or maybe it's try us out and I'll give you your own vanity code for life, or, try us out, I'll give you, your own banner even. You could do all sorts of different things. But think about some sort of incentive that you can do that fits for you, that makes sense for you. And definitely be sure to include that as well. Not just, sort of a general, please join me. So I think that will do better for you. So speaking of incentives, that brings us to compensation, our third C. So again, looking at the Affiliate Summit AppStat report from last year, they asked the question to affiliates, what are the top 3 things that you look for when you're joining an affiliate program? And the number one item that affiliates are looking for is commission. They want to know, how are they going to get paid? What are they going to earn? Definitely very important to them. So let's talk a little bit about commission, some of the things that we notice that are happening on our network. One thing that I thought was kind of a fun factoid was that throughout the year there's absolutely no seasonality with commission whatsoever. So it's flat, like a flat plateau that you would see out in the country. But I thought this was interesting because, obviously volume, transaction volume, there's huge seasonality. Quarter 4 is probably quarter 1 and 2 combined in most, spaces. But I think it's interesting that merchants, at least on our network, are not doing any sort of compensation accordingly. So it's pretty flat all throughout the year. Something to consider if maybe you want to, do that or add that to your program. Incentivize people when the sales are lower typically. You can try to use that as an activation point, something like that. But across the board, people not necessarily doing any sort of seasonality with commission. I hope that that's kind of easy to read. I don't know if it is, but this is a breakout of our top categories on the network. So it's business, health, family, education, arts, media, finance, accessories, clothing, sports, and fitness, home and family, and computer. On the far right, the different categories. And on the far left, first column, I have all the average commissions for that specific niche or category. So what are the merchants in that space paying out? The column next to that is the average commission per transaction. So what the affiliates are earning per average in that category. And then gross sale is the third column. So gross sale for that category. I think there are a couple of things that are really interesting about this breakout. You'll notice that the category business, that's in yellow, that has the highest commission payout, is killing it in terms of what the affiliates are receiving per transaction at $15.79. So that makes sense, it's the highest commission, but it's also, you'll notice, a really high gross average order. So it's second highest of all of the categories that are up there, or third highest, excuse me. So, but that's where, affiliates are really taking the earnings there. Another interesting thing that you can take away from this is, all right, so business has it made and that, okay, fine, their average is so high. Maybe you can't go that high. You'll notice that home and family and computers at the bottom have the lowest commission payout at 6%. But what's interesting is the affiliates are actually earning in home and family one of the highest payouts of any of the other categories because their average order is just smashing it. So what am I trying to say here is that if you have maybe your commission, maybe you don't have the margins to be able to pay out a really high commission, but maybe you have a very high average order. That's something the affiliates want to know about. So when you're doing your recruitment emails, or you're even just promoting your program in general, obviously you're going to be telling people about the commission. That's something that they see, but make sure that you also let them know what your average order is, because that's really what, at the end of the day, that's what the story is. You want to let them know what their earning potentials are. So I just thought that was kind of interesting that even if it was the smallest commission payout, it actually was the highest payout for the affiliates. So thinking outside the box. So we all know, obviously, your program, you can have a default commission, but you want to think about, there's lots and lots of different ways that you can compensate or motivate, activate affiliates through the payouts that you use. This huge quintillion, 51 quintillion, is a number that we actually came up with some of the tools that we have. These are the options that merchants actually have. Like, you could go through and think of all the different payout options that you have. It's a big, huge number. And even if you're not on ShareSale, it doesn't matter because, you've got options. You could do things manually, or I'm sure they may have tools that you can use. But that's the point, to just kind of think outside the box, that maybe, it doesn't just have to be a blanket default. So here's a case study that I did. I looked at one particular merchant just to kind of get an idea of how people are thinking outside the box. So this particular merchant set up, I looked at their sales, and for a month, of all their transactions, they had 55% of their transactions, there was a coupon code that was used. And I thought that was interesting because the same retailer, the same merchant, doesn't actually pay the default commission for coupons. So they had, most of their transactions had a coupon code used, even though they don't pay commission on coupon codes. And I thought, what is going on here? And so I took a little deeper look in there, and there were 9 coupon codes that were used total for this month in these transactions that I'm looking at. But one coupon in particular was used 87% of the time. So obviously there was some sort of hook. They had something was going on with this one particular code that drove all of these transactions. Well, what it ended up being was the merchant had put together a special code for this month to try to drive new customers. So they created a special coupon code that was only valid for new customers, and they added a bonus to that, to the affiliates. So now they're able to earn a commission when they otherwise wouldn't maybe be able to. And the merchant went ahead and sent that out to all of their affiliates. They emailed it out to everybody to let them know, encourage them to promote it. And in the end, they were able to get, of the affiliates that were driving sales, 69% of them used this code. So in this case, this bonus really worked well for them because they got all these affiliates to use the code. A triple win, if you will. Everybody wins. Pew, pew, pew. So for the merchant, they were able to decrease the spend still because on all the other codes that were used, they weren't paying their default commission on that. So they had saved some money in that sense. They also gained a whole bunch of new, consumers because the code was only valid for new customers. The consumer obviously won because it was a great lucrative, try us out. It was, I think, a half-off deal, first-time customers. And then the affiliates were still winning too because they were being commissioned on 49% of their transactions that otherwise wouldn't have been. So they're earning new ways, a good motivation booster. Another thing to think about if you're trying to think outside the box on your commissioning and your incentives would be to just get to know your publishers, get to know who your affiliates are. If you know who your top affiliates are, who's adding the most value, you want to reward them accordingly. And that's just going to be a nice full circle, a little scratching of the back action. You want to know who is sending you maybe the highest volume or the most valuable customers, or maybe they have a great conversion rate, whatever it might be that you value. Take a look at who those affiliates are and maybe consider giving them maybe a VIP commission or, again, exclusive codes. And in that sense, they will probably, in return, give you more exposure on their site, which you obviously want because you already know that they're killing it. Full circle. Another kind of, not just looking at top performers, but also using your analytics to get a bigger picture on other things that might be going on. So a second case study that I did, I took a look at, again, a different retailer's statistics for a month, and it was fascinating to see that the program's average order, let's say it's $100, they had 10 affiliates who were driving sales. Their average order was much higher than the program's average order. So these 10 affiliates are able to get the consumer to purchase more, and they're driving incremental sales. So this is something that the merchant definitely would want to know about because, okay, I need to do more with these guys because they have the ability to make people purchase. And in fact, the top affiliate was 83% higher. Their average order was 83% higher than the program's actual general average order. Interesting. With the same affiliate, the same statistics, taking a look at the breakout from another angle. So of the sales generating affiliates for this merchant for that month, they had 74% of the affiliates driving sales were all the same type of site, so the same type of affiliate. So they had a pretty small percentage of variety essentially going on, and they were primarily one type. Another way to look at that, these affiliates, the ones that were driving primarily all of the sales, one guy was responsible for 51% of the sales driven to the merchant. And only 4 affiliates were making up 85% of the sales. This to me is whoa, you've got a lot of opportunity for diversity here. Because to me, this is a very, what I call top-heavy program. You've got all of your sales, with just a few people responsible for this. If one of these 4 people, leaves your program, you've got a huge gap that you need to fill. So whenever I see something like this, you always tell people, all right, maybe it's time to kind of think this over and incentivize based on what it is that you want to grow. So if you're noticing when you look at your own sales that you've got 74% are all the same kind of type of affiliate, you want to maybe incentivize to kind of bring in a little bit more diversity into your program. So how can you do that? This is what I see all the time. The most common incentive that merchants are doing is this, hey, if you're our top affiliate, we're going to give you, a $50 bonus if you've earned the most this month. And while I think this can be great for, what we were talking about previously, if you want to kind of highlight some of your top performers, this is, definitely a good thing to do. But if you're trying to diversify, I don't think that, try to stay away from this. And the reason I think that this is the case is a lot of times you may have affiliates who actually are earning a bonus and it's totally accidental because they're a top earner anyway, So this actually happened to me back when I was managing programs. I remember sending out I was so excited, this guy, he's gonna love that he earned $100. And I said, hey, congratulations, you just earned $100 for our April bonus. And he wrote back and he was like, what are you talking about? Okay, thanks. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe my bonus didn't work so well. Because he earned this promotion even without doing anything else at all. There was no sort of additional activity. The other thing that I think happens is for your other mid-level, performers, they may get a little scared off and say, oh gosh, there's no way I can compete with this big, huge program. I'm never going to be their top earner. So, why bother, So not necessarily going to be something that is going to get everybody active. So what I typically suggest, think about some incentives that are maybe more personal driven, little personal activity. So where affiliates are competing with themselves and not having to compete with everybody else. If you give people a goal that is personal, then they know, okay, that's something I can sign up for. I know I can compete with myself. And some ideas of that would be things like, hey, increase your conversion rate month over month, or increase your transactions by 10, get 10 more new sales this month. Maybe generate your first sale. I always think that's a great one because if you've got somebody that's new, they generated their first sale, sometimes the affiliate might not even know that. So it's a great little, give them a little handwritten thank you note, or just even an email. Hey, just wanted to thank you for sending your first sale with us. You are doing a great job. Keep it up. The other thing that I think is great when you're thinking about personal goals is think about something that's going to kind of live on a little bit. So instead of saying, I'll give you 2% commission for this month on all your sales, you might have something that says, hey, why don't you, again, increase your conversion rate. So that's the month that they're working on right now. Increase your conversion rate for August, and then we'll give you 5% extra commission for the next 4 months. So something that's going to keep going. So they're not only motivated for this current month, but they're going to be motivated to keep going because they're going to have that added commission rate for the next ongoing months after that. Another idea would be to think about incentives that are placement oriented. This too is something everybody can do. And definitely something you want to think about if you're trying to get, again, like I said, that diversity. Like maybe you have a lot of coupon sites in your program and you're trying to get bloggers or something like that. You want more content. So think about some placement oriented ones, such as, hey, put up our seasonal banner and I'll give you double commission, or sell this specific product, write a post about this product, and we'll give you, maybe a gift card to your website. Or maybe you do have a lot of bloggers and you're trying to get more coupons. Again, you could, give them a specific code that you want them to use, sort of like our first case study did. So different ideas about things where they can place it. The other thing to keep in mind is that, your incentive, maybe your marketing spend is really tight, and you know that your default commission is really, that's it, that's all that you can spend. And if that's the case, there's lots of ideas that you could do that are beyond even just commission rate. Maybe you've got some gift cards. Why don't give those out, Hey, affiliate, sell 7 of these, I'll give you a gift card to our website. That's always kind of a nice idea because then you know that they're going to be on your site, they're shopping around, they get to know you more. Or you could do things like even consulting. Maybe you've got a really great SEO team. So maybe the incentive is, hey, draw some more sales and I'll give you an hour with our SEO expert. Or even, maybe a free pass to this show, if you've bought an extra or have a couple of extras, any sort of conference giveaway, things like that. It can be a tangible item. Doesn't always have to just be commission if you're tight on the budget. So that is the 3 C's that we're covering today. And I always say, if you're keeping these things top of mind and you're keeping the consideration, then you kind of go into the fourth C of competitive. So keeping a fine tune on your creatives, communications, and compensations will make your program very competitive for years to come. See you later. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Great. If you do, if you have any questions later, or if you even want us to take a look at your program, I was going to say, feel free to just shoot me an email, and I'd be happy to kind of take a look at the program and offer some suggestions of maybe some incentives, or even help with some, wherever it might be, some incentives that you give out or things like that. I'm happy to help. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just had a question about, you were talking about changing my seasonality. So have you seen success with it? Have you got examples of success by seasonality in terms of changing your commissions, and what kind of levels of change they did?
Yeah, what we have seen, actually, the stat that I have is that people aren't necessarily changing right now. It's totally flat. But I do know that case-by-case basis, I have seen merchants adjust their commission for like Q1 because I know that sales totally drop off. So sometimes I've seen where they might give a higher commission rate for a set period of time just to say like, hey, let's keep it going, let's keep the good work going, and have increased the commission in that sense. And I do think that they did well with that. I don't have exact numbers on me right now, but I have seen people do that. But blanket-wise, looking at all of the merchants on our network specifically, it's totally flat. Thank you for the question. Anybody else has anything? If not, I hope you have a great rest of the Affiliate Summit. Thank you for joining us today.